Last time on Drive with Jesh.
Today we are here in Round Rock, Texas at DNA Autohaus, which is owned by the one and only Ven Shenoy. We're gonna take a quick look around his shop, check out some of these amazing cars, and then we're gonna hop in his CLK 63 Black Series.
Finally able to say I own a CLK 63 Black Series now. James May from Top Gear signed my engine cover.
I saw some pictures
last weekend at Formula One. I met Valtteri Bottas, had him sign there.
Let's check out this SLR here, Ben. Let's go ahead and hop in and we'll learn more about your entrepreneurial journey, and ultimately, let's hit the racetrack.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, Ven, or should I say my Twinkie today?
Yeah,
we're matching.
Unplanned matching.
And we also learned we have some somewhat similar family background. Kerala.
Absolutely. Born in Kerala as well.
That's funny. Today, you're super successful. You own DNA Autohaus. You're also part owner of Atomic Auto Spa, and you own multiple badass cars. Take us back to what life was like for you growing up, and how you initially got into cars.
Sure, yeah. So I was actually born in India. I was, like I said, our matching kind of backgrounds. I was born in Kerala, India. I grew up in Bangalore, India. Moved to Houston, Texas when I was 17 in 2003. Went to University of Houston. Moved to Austin in 2009. Got into cars when I was in Houston. So I borrowed my mom's Hyundai Sonata and started autocrossing it without her knowing. So that was
the secret's out now.
Yeah, she knows. Life has a funny way of changing your destination. In 2006, I was in sophomore year of college and ended up losing my dad.
Oh man!
And, super close to me. I grew up super close to my dad, my brother, my mom, and he was like. Very influential in my life. So everything I know because of him. My business acumen, my goals in life, whatever. Everything's been determined by influence from him. Ended up losing, probably the closest person to me in my life.
Sorry to
that kind of made a change in what I wanted to do with my life. Family had a business in Houston. Import and supply of natural stone. We scaled to a much larger facility, and I decided to move to Austin and start my version of it. For us, the 80-hour, 90-hour weeks where we're working 6 days, 7 days a week, and not really seeing our family much, that kind of started taking a toll. So we decided, hey, let's take let's start planning an exit. So in 2017 or so, started looking for potential buyers. We actually had a buyer out of Mexico City lined up that was going to purchase the business April of 2020. Numbers were all lined up. Purchase paperwork was being lined up. And of course, our COVID pandemic in that exact time frame. And April of 2020, we made the decision instead of selling the business, why don't we just go through the process of liquidating it, because our supply chains from all over the world were dying off. So you're an entrepreneur, you can't sit around idle for too long, as you know. So eventually I made the decision to get into the car space. Selfishly, we'll say it started off as get the dealer's license to more or less buy and sell cars for myself without having to register them, because I do really enjoy the hunt. I like chasing down cool cars. I like finding the ones with the right specifications. It started out with small scale. My first year, I bought and sold a total of 18 cars only. But slowly it's morphed into, hey, let's start doing this for friends of mine. And then it became, let's start doing this more kind of long-term, set up as a full-time thing. And then now, this year, got the Bring a Trailer local partner program.
Talking about, lessons learned or challenges, that first year when you started DNA Autohaus, what would you say were some of the biggest challenges that you faced or lessons learned, when you were starting up your own business?
When I started, I was thinking, hey, it's going to be fun and easy, most people probably think of entrepreneurs like, oh, they just sit back at their office desks and count the cash, and that's how it works. You know, first year I was like, it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna find people to buy cars that I buy at wholesale value and sell at retail. It's gonna be so easy to buy $100,000 car and sell it at 110. I'll do 15 or 20 a year and make an extra 150 to 200 a year. And then reality hits, and then you realize, okay, I have to spend $8,000 to $10,000 a year in a commercial insurance policy. Then I'm spending $5,000 a month in rent for a commercial property, and then I'm spending, keeping cars alive is a full-time process. And then you end up buying a car that you think, oh, I'll make $10,000 on this thing, and then you have to sell it for a $5,000 loss because the market took a hit. It's not that easy, and as every entrepreneur will tell you, like the financial instability of owning a business will not let you sleep sometimes. And that's the whole reason why I've kept DNA Autohaus at the scale that it is. 6 to 10 cars a month is where I like to be, only because I'm not floating my business on a floor plan like every other car dealership is.
About the scale of your business, tell me about how have you grown in terms of DNA? Have you hired more team members, and how important was delegating other tasks to other people?
Sure. So I've done in my construction supply business. At the peak of the business, I had 15, maybe 16 employees. I've done that side of it. It is a very stressful endeavor. So for me, when I started DNA Autohaus, one of my main things was I don't want full-time employees. Instead, I'm going to have subcontract for everything.
At DNA Autohaus, you're next door to Atomic Auto Spa and ECC, and I've got my work done there at ECC. With Atomic Auto Spa, tell me about that business relationship, because you're also part owner there, right? How did that come about?
Yeah, so I started the dealership, like I said, around 2022. A couple months after the dealership started. Justin's actually one of my closest friends. Justin from Atomic Auto Spa. I've been blessed to know him since I moved to Austin. Met again through car scene. I'd say this is the first true partnership for me that is working out really well. So he asked me if I could come on and help scale the business. A couple of years in, we're 3.5, 4 years in since I bought into Atomic Auto Spa, and we've brought on so many new products. We've established ourselves as one of the more boutique shops in Austin. I am not throttling.
Yeah, so still has all.
I mean, compared to modern cars, this might not be a fast car by any means. It's not a dual clutch. It's not.
But that emotional driving experience is tough to beat. In terms of your entrepreneurial journey, what would you say is some of the best advice you've ever received?
His name's David Nall. He's one of my very close business and family mentors. One of his company slogans is "Better Than Yesterday." And that is something that I've taken to heart. That's something I live by every day now. It doesn't matter if you're at the top of your game or if you're starting at the bottom, whatever it is, as long as you use those 3 words, better than yesterday, there's only one direction you can go.
That's where my mind was going with that quote, which I like that advice, is even if it's 1% increments every day, you're making improvements.
Yeah, everyone gets into this mindset, like I'm gonna change the world. It's not a one-day thing. It's a long-term game. Everything is a long-term game. So when it comes to business or life in general, as long as you're better than yesterday, that's all that matters.
Yes.
Yep, we're in Mexico.
Yes.
We were only doing 30 miles an hour.
Exactly. Yes. That sounded amazing. We're in the Black Series. I know you've got some other amazing cars as well. Tell me a bit about what else you got in the garage. And I'm also curious, where this Black Series fits amongst your other cars.
This car, I guess, is replacing a 911 GTS, which was my quote-unquote family car / fun weekend car, GT Cruiser, whatever you want to call it. But my 10-year-old really doesn't fit in the back seats of the 911 anymore, so we don't use it as much. So I'll tell you where other cars in the garage. I have a 718 Spyder, which is manual, paint to sample, carbon brakes, carbon buckets. It's Oslo blue, kind of a very cool color in my opinion. That is what I would call a scalpel. It's a precise instrument where I'm just kind of carving back roads. One of the best driving cars in my opinion. It's not as fast as like a 911 turbo or something, but it on a back road, there's nothing that beats it for me. The way it handles, how balanced it is, all that stuff. My two current quote-unquote muscle cars, I have a 91 Fox body notchback with a Vortex supercharger. Makes, not crazy horsepower, like 450 horsepower, but for that car, it's a lot of power, right? Car I yearned for as a teenager was a 2002, 2001, in that era, Z28 or WS6 Trans Am. I've had a WS6 Trans Am, currently own a Camaro that has a 460 RHS engine with individual throttle bodies and kind of a built suspension, big power car. This car no longer has back seats. Obviously, the Black Series does not come with back seats, so it's not a family car or a grand touring car. It's a blunt instrument for sure. It's no longer a scalpel, although it does do things that cars of this era should not do. It's a sledgehammer, if you're gonna put it that way.
Tell me about some of the different tracks you've been on, or even just like, spirited drives, because I know we've done a past episode with Farhan, and he talked about when you guys went to Tail of the Dragon. And that's also where he experienced your 718.
My old 718 Spyder. I had a white one. Crazily enough, he owns that car now. I've been doing these annual voyages to Tail of the Dragon area for the last 5 years now. We're actually leaving in 2 weeks for it again.
Nice.
Farhan's going on that one too. He's bringing his 718 Spyder. I'm taking mine. We do about 4,000 miles of driving in a week.
That is badass.
Yeah, leave from Texas to Tennessee, drive the back roads, have a lot of fun. Not just the Tail of the Dragon. There's a lot of roads there all over North Carolina and Tennessee that are just amazing. We sometimes go through the Ozarks on the way up there, so get more driving there too. I've mainly only driven Texas tracks, MSR Crescent, MSR Houston, Circuit of the Americas, Harris Hill Raceway. There used to be a track in Angleton, Texas. I've driven that. A couple other ones, but really mostly Texas tracks. But this year was my 40th birthday and had this insane epic car trip that I've been planning for the last 10 years. And turns out, like, all of the guys that I go to the Dragon with last year, while we were at the Dragon, I mentioned to them about this trip I planned for my 40th birthday. And within 5 minutes, all of them were in. Every single one of them was in. So it was 6 of us. We all went out to Germany, did a track day at the Nürburgring.
Wow.
Then drove to Belgium, to my favorite racetrack in the world, which is Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. My rental car initially was supposed to be an M3 Touring, but they ran out of M3 Tourings. They only had one. And Farhan was on that trip as well. Farhan got the M3 Touring.
Okay.
So when I went to the rental car counter, they didn't have one. They were trying to put me in a Porsche Panamera, like a base V6. I said, no, I'm not taking that. So I told them about my birthday. The dude at the checkout counter was super nice. He understood all this stuff. And then he made me a deal. I had to pay extra, but he made me a deal on the upgrade. My rental car was a 992.2 GTS with the hybrid turbo system. So it was just an epic car.
Awesome.
Got to drive that all over Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Belgium, kind of everywhere. I think we did, I'm going to say 2,600 kilometers maybe in that week.
Wow.
Way past the mileage limits. I mean, spend a shit ton of money on, excuse my language, on overages.
In terms of, you're a business owner, you go to car events, you're a husband, how do you juggle all of these things effectively, effectively manage your time?
I mean, absolutely, it has to do with prioritizing what's important to you. For me, I guess my number one priority is my wife and kids. My wife is an amazing person. I'm blessed that she understands my passions and joys as well. She's not your traditional TV wife that's like, you're spending too much time with your car or you're with your friends or whatever. But I am very, very committed to her. And then thankfully, my work and my friend circle, they kind of overlap. So I can mix both of those things. So what I do every single day at work is my passion. So I'm also doing my my passion stuff at the same time.
You're blessed, man. That's
yeah,
good.
it's
It all
and
intermingles and
it's
you guys get along.
exactly. Blessed is the right word. My wife helps with running my business too. She runs the back end of it quite often, so she understands cars. She's not car crazy like I am.
What do you want to be remembered for in life?
I just want to be better than yesterday every single day. That's number one. But what I want to be known for, probably first, he was a great husband. Already talking about myself like it's my obituary, but he was a great husband. He was a great father. He was a great friend. And then everything else can come with it, because if I do those three things well, I feel like everything else will just click into line.
Yeah.
And it's I don't have to try to be a quote unquote great businessman. As long as I treat people right and run my business the way I'm running it now, there's only one direction we can go, is right.
Well, you seem
not
to be
trying to screw people over, not trying to be your usual used car salesperson that's taking advantage of people, or hiding issues, or whatever it is. So
yeah,
I think there's only one way it can go, is forward. So yeah, great husband, great father, great friend. That's what I like it. So
appreciate it, man. That's good stuff.
And now we hit the track.
This is the right environment for this car. I'm so glad we did this, because I'm learning this car better than we did on those back roads, for sure.